It's Friday, August 13th, 2010. Welcome to This Week in Linux News. So what happened in the news this week? Firefox 4 Beta 3 released, and guess what? There's very little changes as far as the Linux client's concerned. Tabs have been moved up to the top for Windows and OS X, not for Linux yet. One interesting thing I did notice in there, if you go into the Smart Bar in Firefox 4 Beta 3 now, you can actually type in and go to a different tab if it's already open. So if you've got 30 or 40 tabs open, you will be able to move to it very easily. I know personally I normally don't go over about 10 or 12 tabs, so clicking on them works for me. In other news, Puppy Linux 5.1 released this week. This is the first version of Puppy that is binary compatible with Ubuntu Lucid Linux packages. Other than that, it seems to be just a standard Puppy install. I know Sneaky Linux took a look at it. Go ahead and check his channel out if you haven't already. He's got a review of it up. In other distro-related news, Fedora 14 was supposed to ship their first alpha on the 17th. It looks like they're pushing it back a week already. This is no surprise. Actually, over the last 5 releases, Fedora has been delayed by at least a week per release. The official release for 14 was supposed to be on October 26th. It has now been pushed back to November 2nd. There are actually going to be some interesting new things in Fedora 14, such as support for compiling the D programming language, adding the GNU step development environment to it. They're rebasing their KDE spin off of KDE 4.5, and they're going to be spinning a MeeGo 1.0 release. And how can we talk about Fedora without mentioning Ubuntu a little bit too? Canonical has created a package called Canonical Census that's going to be included in OEM releases of Ubuntu in the future. So no need to worry about it showing up in 10.10 by default or anything, but basically what it does is it runs in the background all the time and occasionally goes out and pings Canonical to let them know that you're still using that version. So why is this a good idea? It lets the OEMs know who's actually using Ubuntu after they buy it and how long they use it for in case they decide to switch to something else. If a system stops pinging back after a certain amount of time, they can either assume the system was damaged or that it was replaced with something else. Now the flip side of that is if Canonical decided they wanted to start including this in the default Ubuntu install, that's going to be giving out a little more information than people might want to. Now it doesn't give any really specific information and nothing on the user, but it does send out some information about your system to Canonical. But if you're concerned about that, it is very easy to remove. Sudo apt-get remove canonical-census. It's probably not even installed on your system at the moment anyway. Alright, let's keep moving. It looks like Google's being sued by Oracle. Of the thousands of patents that Sun has stockpiled over the years, they're claiming that Google is violating several of the Java-based patents by using Java technology in the Android platform. Is it going to have any sort of impact on Android and on the people using the Android operating system? Probably not. Now, is it going to put more money in Oracle's pocket? Almost certainly. Speaking of Android, let's talk about some Android-based devices. Motorola's Droid 2 came out on Thursday with a pre-order happening on Wednesday. We've talked about the Droid 2 before, but there's one little thing that's being added. In September, there's going to be an R2-D2 limited edition release of the Droid 2 available online only. It's going to feature exclusive Star Wars content and external hardware to make it look like the trusty droid from the Star Wars saga. If I weren't stuck with AT&T, honestly, I'd have to have this device because I'm kind of a Star Wars nut. In other Android news, Google has implemented more voice actions for devices running version 2.2 of Android Froyo. Now, a lot of these are similar to the way it works in Apple's iOS, such as running your music and calling people, but now you can also search maps, you can search Google, you can get directions, go to certain websites, you can even write notes and text messages. The only thing I could think to add to that would probably be if they could make it open applications as well, so you could say open camera and have it just start your camera for you. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. You can actually go download that if you're on a Froyo phone right now. And now some creepy news to end things for this Friday the 13th. The first SMS Trojan for Android is out in the wild. Now it's not all that scary really. You have to go to a website and actually install an Android package, and as we all know, if you go to a website and install a package and you're not familiar or comfortable with the website, you're doing it wrong. The Trojan is called Trojan SMS Android OS Fake Player A. Another of those great names for a virus, thank you Kaspersky Labs. So basically what this does, it installs itself on your phone looking like it's a harmless media player. After it's installed, it starts sending out SMS messages to premium rate numbers without the owner's knowledge or consent. This of course takes money out of the owner's hands and puts it into the hands of the criminals that created this. As always, if you're not downloading from the Android app market, make sure the person you're pulling it from is a known and trusted source. But that's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.